got a chance to see the new Kerry Washington film, Shadow Force. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zyka, an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. Just coming off a couple of films back-to-back, and now I am heading to Dallas. I'm going to be down there for the Fan Expo, for the comic convention down there. Meeting up with some of my friends there as well. And I'm going to be dropping off bookmarks for my new graphic novel. But yeah, remember, before we start, give me a like, give me a subscribe if you can. If you can, share this video out there, it'd be great. Ring that bell, ding ding down there. And also remember too that I am a writer, so if you want to check out anything that I've written, you can check out my stuff on Amazon. You can just type my name into it, or there's a link in the description below as well. My 4-novel quadrilogy, Destiny Aurora, which is also on Amazon and Kindle. All my books are on Kindle. My fantasy book, Tales of Ravenor, the Iron Witch. And then on top of that, I am releasing a new book. I'm working on it right now, called Battle for Ruby Slippers, and my new graphic novel, which we've launched the pre-launch page on Kickstarter. You can go to the QR code right here called Fairy Tales of Terror, or there's also a link in the description below for that as well. All right, so definitely jump in there now. It's just a sign-up page right now, so all you have to do is click I want to be notified, and that's it. So go ahead and do that. All right, so let's jump into Shadow Force. So, I saw everything that I kind of wanted to see, but there was 2 outstanding movies that I hadn't gotten to yet. It's because I had seen, Final Destination, I saw Mission Impossible, and I have no interest really in seeing Lilo and Stitch, though I did walk into it, look cute, but I think I'm kind of beyond that. But I guess if I just want to have a little fun and, watch this thing run around causing trouble, I guess, I jump into that. But I really kind of wanted to see Fight or Flight, but it was already out of the theater. It was in the theater for like 2 weeks, and it's already gone. Come on, give me one theater with it in there. I kind of wanted to see Josh Hartnett kind of try to be a badass, but wasn't meant to be. So, and I saw that Shadow Force had 1 showing. It's down to 1 showing. So I'm like, damn, I got to jump in there now or it's going to be gone. So I jumped on it pretty quick. It just went on Monday, or Tuesday. I didn't go during the weekend. I went on Tuesday tonight, which this will come out on Wednesday, because I'm flying out on Thursday already. It's been a whirlwind. I've only been off for like 5 days and I'm already flying out. But I'm a fan of Kerry Washington. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of Kerry Washington. I think she overacts sometimes. I think she over-emotes sometimes. She does these weird things with her face and things like that. I did like that TV show that she did. I thought that had a pretty good cast. And it had some good elements to it, where she was like the government fixer or whatever. So I wanted to see if she could sell it, being an action star. And there are 2 different versions of the budget on the internet somewhere. So it ranges anywhere between 40 and 70 million. So let's just say it's the low side of 40 million. I don't think Lionsgate gave this thing any marketing whatsoever. It's only made $4 million in the theater. That's internationally. What the hell? What the hell? That is god awful. I mean, god awful. How do you do that? So it had some decent fight scenes in there and action scenes. I wouldn't say it was great by any... I mean, it's not going to compare to Mission Impossible or anything like that. But the basic storyline is it's Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So you have Mark Strong, who is this government agent. He runs an agency. He's not an agent. He runs an agency. He was in the field at one time, according to the story. But we don't get to see any of that. But now he's under investigation for we don't really know for what. I mean, some backwater dealings and stuff like that, but we never get to see that anyway. All we know he's under investigation. And he had a relationship with Kerry Washington's character, which is interesting because her name is Kaya and the kid's name is Kai. So I don't know why they duplicated the name, especially when it's a boy, but that's the story there. But anyway, I guess they were assassins. So they had this group of assassins called Shadow Force, which is kind of, I think the name kind of put everybody off too, because it almost sounded like a parody. And it's not a parody in any sense, but it came off that way with the like Shadow Force. It's kind of like the superhero type of name. So I don't know if that helped or hindered the marketing on this. If there was any marketing, I didn't see any marketing at all. I don't know if anybody else did. So they decide that they're going to have a relationship. She gets pregnant, and they decide that they're going to try to leave the agency, although it's clandestine. Nobody, even the upper echelon, doesn't know about it. But he goes to some kind of hearing, Mark Strong's character, and he, all the nations are there, almost like it's NATO type of thing. I don't know why you'd go to a hearing at NATO or anything. It doesn't even say where it's at. I don't. They had a congressman from the U.S. there. I'm not sure how that works. So I thought that was weird. And so they try to get out, and they realize the only way to get out is for one of them to kill all the other assassins that would come after her or them. So she goes and leaves the family, and he takes care of the son for like 5 years or something like that, while she goes and tries to kill them all, and only gets, after years, she only gets like 3 of them. So it's and then of course he comes after them, and that's pretty much where the story all takes place, is during all that. So the story's okay. Has holes in it. I had fun with it though. I wasn't bored. It had a couple of twists in there I liked. Some of the people are kind of miscast as agents. I don't know. But anyway, this is written and directed by Joe Carnahan, who is a writer-director normally and produces. So he's got a nice little repertoire of credits behind him. Stuff that you recognize, like Cop Shop I really liked. And I think he wrote, directed, and produced that. He did 17 episodes of Blacklist. He was a producer on that. So he's got some really nice stuff here in his credits. So he did Boss Level with Grillo. So he does, like, he also did the A-Team. He wrote the A-Team. He wrote The Gray, Smoking Aces 2. He directed, again, Boss Level, so he wrote and directed that. He directed 3 episodes of Blacklist. And he wrote and directed the A-Team and Smoking Aces. So he directed Smoking Aces too. So, he's got a nice little repertoire behind him. There's no saying that he is, great, but he's definitely not bad. But I gotta say, some of the directing here was a little iffy. I gotta say, some of the choices that he made. Okay, so in the beginning really bothered me. So again, you have Omar Sy, who is French. Okay, he also was in The Killer. He also played Bishop in Days of Future Past, the X-Men thing. So he's done some stuff, but he is French, and he has a very, very thick accent. Obviously, French was his first language, and he, slowly learned English, and he's not fluent in English in any way, shape, or form. But he obviously does, some American movies. So they leaned into that. Thank God, they leaned into it. They didn't push it aside, and so he and Kerry Washington spoke French back and forth, and he and the little boy spoke French back and forth. So I'm glad they leaned into that instead of shying away from it. But anyway, in the beginning, he goes to do. He was getting charged something, and he had a late payment or something to that effect 3 times or whatever it was. But he was at the bank trying. I don't know why he was at the teller. That's not something the teller normally does. But anyway, of course we have a bank robbery happen. Like bank rob. I mean, every movie, the people walk in with massive machine guns into a bank. I have been banking for 50 years. Or not 50, but close. And I have never run into a bank robbery. Whether it was New York, Florida, Georgia, never. I have never seen one, never heard of one. But in the movies, they happen like, like every 5 times a week. That somebody's getting robbed. So anyway, they walk into this bank and he tells the kid. So the kid is literally standing in the middle of the bank. And the guy's got a gun to the kid's head. Okay? I'm not going to do much spoilers, but I got to do a spoiler here because this really bothered me. And so the guy has a machine gun to the guy's head. And he tells the kid, first of all, Omar Sy's character, Isaac, is deaf, or mostly deaf. He can hear to a certain degree, but he has, earpieces in, to help him hear. So when he gets into a fight, he takes them out because, he describes himself as Daredevil, where he can focus better without the sound. So he tells the kid to close his eyes and cover his ears, and you see everything from the point of view of the kid, so it's all the action is going in and out to black. I didn't like that at all. But he's ducking, he's doing all this, and he's letting the kid stand in the middle of the bank with bullets going all around. He doesn't try to shield the kid. He doesn't tell the kid to get down. Nothing. Because the director wanted the point of view of the kid blinking, in and out of all the action. So the only way to do that is to have him stand there. But a father would never do that. Never, ever. First of all, he would never have put the kid's life in danger with the gun pointed at the kid and him run towards the guy. The guy would just pull the trigger and kill him. So he'd be the cause of his son's death. So I just didn't understand that at all. And then him not tell the kid to get down or shield the kid or any of it. So I had a big problem with the way that scene was directed. He also directs with a lot like TV. He directs like TV where there's a lot of close-ups. I mean, a lot of close-ups where some of the close-ups didn't work. Some of the shots did work. Like the whole, there's a boat chase scene at the end. I liked a lot of the way that was shot. Some of the fight scenes, not that great. They're kind of very clunky. Some of the, like Kerry Washington, okay, so there are some shorter women that can pull it off. And that's what I was wondering is with Kerry Washington could pull it off. And she did. She sold it. So this movie was carried on the back of Kerry Washington and the kid. The kid was cute as hell. He was an extremely good actor for as young as he was. Everything seemed very organic. There were a lot of things that, like, sometimes they make kids speak like more like an adult. Well, they didn't do that here. He actually said stuff as a kid. And then on top of that, they had him singing Lionel Richie. It was cute as hell. And, I mean, if the relationships didn't work, and then the first time he sees, because he hadn't seen Kerry Washington's character in a long time, he didn't even recognize what she looked like. That scene was directed and acted so well that it brought tears to my eyes. It was so great. So it has some really good stuff in it, and then it has some very, very awkward stuff in it. Like, I do not understand why again, Kerry Washington is 5'4". Okay, she's not short and not tall. Put it this way: Jennifer Garner is 5'8". You know, she's an imposing figure for a woman, especially if you put heels on her. You know, she's close to 6 foot. And then, of course, you have Gal Gadot, stuff like that. But, and I think Jennifer Garner is more built like a brick shithouse than Gal Gadot is. You know, I buy Jennifer Garner fighting a lot easier than I do Gal Gadot. But without superpowers, of course. Like her being the spy, Jennifer Garner has her beat hands down. But Kerry Washington pulled it here. I think some of her fight scenes are okay, but I didn't not buy the fact that she could fight or fight guns or whatever. But like ScarJo, she's only 5'3", and she sold that shit as Black Widow every fucking time. Every time she could sell that thing. But then you have other characters that are like 5'1". I don't care how much you try to sell it. You're 5'1". You are not selling anything. I mean, Omar Sy is probably 6 foot and change. And, you know, she was looking up at him like crazy, you know. But Natalia Reyes is in here. She was miscast in Terminator Dark Fate as the Danny character. She acted like a complete child in there. I could never buy her as the future leader of the human race. She destroyed that film all by herself, as far as I'm concerned. There was just no, even with the death of John Connor, okay, buying that this is an alternate timeline, whatever. But then you put her in there, and it just didn't work. She's too short. She looks like a child. It just doesn't work. And then they recast her here as an assassin. Stop it. She is not. She's 5'1". It's not going to work. Get out of the side. Get out of trying to be a thing. Go do some, like, a romantic comedy, even horror. But Natalia Reyes is never going to be an action star. It's never going to happen. Ugh. But anyway, and when you see it, you'll see that, you know, exactly what I'm talking about. She looks like a child next to everybody. Then you have Ed Quinn as Parker. He did a great job. He was a strong silent type until the end. I liked his character completely. Method Man played Unk. He was really good too. I liked a lot of what he did. Mark Strong, again, playing his normal villainous type. He doesn't really do anything differently than he normally does. He's just a good villain in general. He plays a character named Jack Cinder. He's the one that's under investigation for we don't even know why. Then you have Marvin Jones, who I was really happy to see him. I really wish that he had a bigger role. He played the villain in the Black Lightning series. I loved him as a villain in that thing. And I wish he had more of a role in this because he's a really good villain. But they underutilized him completely. And Divine Joy Randolph, they have her doing some fights. Some of the stuff that she did was fine. And even funny at times. But come on. Come on. She could barely get around, man. She's such a big woman. She was also in Lost Kingdom or whatever. And with Sandra Bullock, where she played the publicist. Okay, fine. She could play a publicist. Here, she's supposed to be an agent, getting around, doing fights and stuff like that. Does not work, man. Does not work. So there's a couple of things that just come off silly because of the actors they chose. And I wish they had a better fight coordinator. I don't think the fight coordinator did a good job. So anyway, I think it's a way better than average film because again, the young boy and his name was Kai in this. His name was Jaleel Kamara. He and Kerry Washington carried this movie on their backs. Whenever they were on scene together, it really worked. Oh, the part with the car. So they have this armored car kind of thing. It's a sports car, but everything's armored on it. And I was wondering how the top was, and they put him into almost like a seat on a roller coaster in the trunk. See, that make more sense. She's like, that trunk is indestructible. I made that purposely to keep him safe. Good stuff. That was great. And so they have this truck coming at them. They have all these motorcycles coming at them. And there was this top. It looks like a plexiglass top on top of the car. I'm like, that is the weirdest looking thing. And she had this machine gun. And she popped out of the thing. It opened up like this. It was like a turret. Oh, my God. That was awesome. Really, really good. So like I said, it has some really good stuff to it. But the other stuff kind of brought it down. But overall, I enjoyed it. But it's not going to make any money at all, which I'm really, really sad about. It was produced by Kerry Washington. Of course, they used her name to raise the money, which is why she was there. But also, it was produced by Sterling K. Brown, who I really think was the one behind this. So anyway, you're not going to be able to see it because it's going to be out of the theater now. But wait for it on streaming. It's definitely worth a stream for sure. So it's not going to make its money back, man. Lionsgate's going to lose its ass on it. I don't quite understand it. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Give me that like. Give me that thumbs up if you can. Also, check out my stuff on Amazon, and also jump into that Kickstarter and put your notifications on when we launched. Again, the QR code is here, or you can link in the description below. All right, thanks again, guys. Have a great week. All right, and if you're all going to be in Dallas, let me know. All right, bye-bye.